In the previous episode of this Completionist challenge, Benjamin reached level 10 of the military career, also fulfilling his lifetime wish. He and Bettina also decided to conceive their second child, the heir to this house. Since he met all the requirements and Bettina only needed her lifetime wish, they believed the time was right as they had plenty of time on their hands. Except for Bettina's work hours, when I continued to control her, I let the couple do whatever they want, since they earned it with so much effort. Chad continues to learn handiness from books. His favorite place to read in the house is in his parents' room. I'm trying to get him to level 10 of the skill before he ages up, as he still needs to learn the gambling skill, which can only be learned from the young adult age onward. That, along with his career, I think will take up a lot of his time. Since my Sims seem to have become addicted to gambling, I bought another slot machine. I shouldn't encourage gambling, but since they're pixels, I have no regrets. Chad asked his love interest Simone, whom he met at prom, out on a date. Since I plan on making her Chad's girlfriend at some point, she deserves a makeover. Although it wasn't a very elaborate one either, because I didn't want to spend too much time in CAS on a Sim that will never be part of the household. While Chad was at his date, I had Benjamin look for a lucky coin to play on the slot machines. With mixed results, I must say. Back to Chad's date, it wasn't going so well apparently, as Simone chose to sing karaoke with the oldest person in the room instead of him. So without knowing what to do, the boy went off to play pool alone. Afterward, the girl seemed to take pity on him and joined in. Chad didn't miss the opportunity to show off what a diva he is and posed for her. Simone was so preoccupied with missing a shift at her part-time job that she didn't pay attention to him. Not even pregnancy stops Bettina from playing the machines. He's cool like that. Chad is happy to become a big brother, even though he is much older than the baby. Did I say Bettina was cool? Well, she is. She's so cool that she exercised until the second before going into labor. The one who isn't so cool to me right now is Benjamin, who took his wife to the hospital to give birth, even though I prefer the baby to be born at home for the mother-child friendship bonus. Let's welcome Camillo, the heir to this house. Bettina's pregnancy went so well that I was able to choose both of the child's traits. Since Camillo was born on a Sunday, I decided to cancel Bettina's remaining maternity leave so she could return to work the next day. I'm a little worried about her lifetime wish, so the more work days she has, the better. These are much shorter now that she's the chief. Bettina reached level 10 in athletics, which, while not necessary for her career, seemed appropriate to me since this is a completionist challenge. And as you can see, this challenge is great for playing at speed 3 when you have all your Sims doing things at the same time. Camillo isn't the only new baby in the house. There's another baby gnome, which is great because most of them are really old and will soon start dying. They keep moving in groups, and they keep entertaining me as always. There was an emergency to put out a small house fire, which was cancelled as sometimes happens in this career. At least these types of fires don't have Sims to rescue. Still, this lifetime wish is making me suffer so much. The next emergency was in a building, so it was another day without rescues. For his part, Benjamin has a lot of free time since he only works once a week. At least he has a baby who needs his attention. But Camillo isn't only getting attention from his father. Chad is delighted with his little brother. What to do when you have a lot of free time? Have fun. Chad doesn't want to say it, but he's a little jealous of his parents for that. Once the boy went to school, they found other ways of having fun. Camillo has become a toddler, a stage he will remain in for a very short time, only until he learns his skills. He looks a lot like his mom, which makes me happy since Bettina is my favorite. Another small house fire. Nothing more to add. And then... an earthquake. Just what I was waiting for. That always means a lot of Sims under rubble. Gotta love earthquake. It was Bettina's busiest day in a long time. Since Benjamin is the one with the most free time in the family, he was in charge of teaching Camillo his skills. This meant that he was hardly in the toddler stage and his birthday coincided with his brother's. I can't believe Chad is already a young adult. His fifth trait is athletic, which, along with the others, it can be guessed what career and lifetime wish I chose for him. For Camillo, I also chose athletic as his third trait, which made me realize he shares all of his traits with his father. I need to start diversifying more. The next day, Chad signed up for the Acrobat profession, and since I'm terrible at choosing stage names, I named him Skylo Chad. I honestly don't remember why I chose that name. Maybe I meant to make a pun on skill. I bought him a treadmill so he could start leveling up his career. Camillo, for his part, will play with the blocks to earn the 3 future points in the hand-in skill. Chad had his graduation ceremony that same day. He was class valedictorian and his classmates voted him most likely to become a sports star. Just like his father, and like with his father they were wrong. Maybe the third time's the charm? To celebrate the event, the family went out to eat. And I think it's the first time I've had a family sitting at the same table at a bistro. Usually at least one family member sits at a separate table. Chad wanted to show his parents his new job and started performing for tips. Camillo, like any younger brother, preferred to play instead of watching his brother make a fool of himself. By nightfall, a good number of people had gathered to see him perform. Or fail. Perhaps it's better to say. At least he had his father's support. But his mother's? I don't know. In gnome news, the 4 elder have passed away. I used their statues as decorations. They're now garden gnomes. I know, it was a lame joke. In what Chad seems to be doing well is in the gambling skill. He levels up the skill faster than his parents. I haven't experimented with this skill before, so I don't know why. I failed by hair to achieve my goal of getting the young man to max his handiness skill in his teens. But fixing a shower was enough to get him to level 10. Chad auditioned at the performance park and got his first gig, which I didn't record because I paused the recording to save the game and forgot to resume it. The presentation was a flop, and the only one who showed up to see it was her father, so you didn't miss anything. At the same time, Bettina had a major emergency and rescued 3 or 4 Sims, leaving her just 6 Sims away from fulfilling her lifetime wish. I do regret not recording that. In Benjamin's news, the man collected so many happiness points that I decided to buy another Motive Mobile. What am I going to do with 4 of these when I barely use one? I don't know, but since he's the only one who can buy this reward throughout the entire challenge, I'd rather stock up in case I lose any. Bettina had another emergency, but despite it being a large house fire, there were no Sims to rescue. Camillo received the scavenger hunt opportunity. And I can't believe how many collectibles Lucky Palms has. I think it's a little OP. So I'm going to put one of the Motive Mobiles I never used to use, and consequently Benjamin won't be coming home for a couple of days. Bettina's next emergency was a building disaster. So there's not much to say here. Except, game, why are you doing this to me? I'm so close to fulfilling her lifetime wish. And we close out this episode with a new performance from Skylo Chad. He improved a bit compared to the previous one. He now has one person in the audience who isn't his family, though it's invisible, but hey, it's something. In the next episode we'll finish up this house. Finally. And we'll see if Bettina fulfills her lifetime wish or not. I have a backup plan for her, but I don't want to use it. So if you want to know if she achieved it or not, don't miss the next video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.